February 10, 2005. FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. An agent clicks into a protected email file, and his complexion pales instantly. He's fixated on a document that defies reality. The full roster of FBI targets. True identities of secret informants. Live operation identifiers. Hackers lending their skills. 11 sheets exposing the United States' deepest cyber secrets, lifted straight from internal servers. What truly churns the gut of every agent, though, is the revelation. The culprit responsible is drawing a paycheck from them. How did a young 20-year-old outsmart the planet's top policing force? And what drove the FBI operative who apprehended him to sacrifice it all? January 19, 2001, Heathrow Airport. You're observing a 20-year-old Ukrainian stepping onto a non-stop flight bound for the U.S. He envisions himself on the cusp of Silicon Valley stardom. Yet in precisely 7 hours and 23 minutes, restraints will bind his wrists. Introducing Maxim Popov. Thin wireframe specs, an anxious chuckle. He appears more suited to fixing bugs in a college dorm than lounging in premium seating flanked by a pair of FBI minders. The day before, he'd approached the American embassy in London with a proposition. Insider knowledge on Eastern European cyber intrusions swapped for a shot at the U.S. ideal. Over 4 months, he'd haggled this arrangement. Fresh persona, honest employment, perhaps initial capital for a tech venture. The operatives vowed it all and deceived him. The instant Popov's boots hit American ground at JFK, the grins evaporate. The affable handlers who shared pints with him across the pond now clamp on the cuffs. That pledged visa? It's a capture order in disguise. Rather than a celebratory gathering, he faces solitary confinement. A district attorney slips a loan document beneath the cell grate. Play ball or languish in a federal lockup for 3 decades. No pay, no business launch, just indentured service under official cover. Yet the FBI overlooked a key point. They'd just schooled their captive in cyber underworld survival. If the upright side deceives so masterfully, picture the havoc from the villains. For 3 months, Popov goes through the motions. Each day at 8 a.m., escorts ferry him from a secure Virginia hideout to an observation post. They monitor as he accesses Russian cybercriminal boards. They capture every keystroke. They believe it's prime intel collection. But the fallout ahead will strip them bare. In raw, jargon-heavy Russian beyond his watcher's grasp, Popov fires off a straightforward alert to his former associates. Dismantle it. Uncle Sam is monitoring. He alerts every key figure in the shadows that his cover's blown. 3 months pass, countless alerts issued, not a single FBI staffer fluent in gritty Russian dialects. By April, when translators decode the conversation records, one operative hurls a chair in fury. Their prized asset has sabotaged them from the outset. They raid the safe house, revoke his perks, and dump him in local detention. As the gate clangs shut, Popov skips the desperation. No appeals, just a grin and those fateful 8 words. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Meanwhile, 2,400 miles west in Santa Ana, California, a lone FBI agent spots potential amid the wreckage. E.J. Hilbert has pursued Eastern European cyber criminals for 3 years. He grasps a truth his peers ignore. Lambs won't snare predators. You require a fellow beast. 2 dilemmas nag at him while he secures a late-night flight to Virginia. Is it possible to rely on a cyber thief who's double-crossed you before? And what unfolds when you arm a swindler with authority? Summer 2002. Hilbert extends Popov a proposition that borders on lunacy. Aid the FBI in penetrating the globe's premier cybercrime network and gain your release. Single stipulation: Popov toils from confinement during daylight, pursues crooks after dark. Enter Operation Ant City, where the Bureau's freshest tool doubles as its gravest risk. This online hub is wild. 10,000 outlaws clustered together, trading pilfered personal data like trading cards. Known as Carter Planet, and back in 2002, it's the eBay for stolen credentials. Credit details for $1. SSNs at $5. Complete profiles, including mom's birth name, early homes, even initial pet's moniker, for $30. Delivery assured. Here, Popoff has to restore his standing from the ground up. Not as a tipster, but as the top shopper in the ring. The FBI hands him a $50,000 war chest and a straightforward directive: spend until they falter. Each buy sets a snare. When felons mail compromised cards to Popoff's sham drop, they've crossed into federal violation territory. Hilbert backtracks every card to its source hack. One deal unmasks a breached resort network, 50,000 visitors compromised. Another exposes a retail giant leaking patron info for half a year. It's ingenious, it's effective, and it's turning intimate. Thanksgiving 2002. As you savor turkey alongside relatives, Popoff isolates in an FBI meeting space. No guests permitted. On paper, he's a non-entity. Hilbert enters bearing an item that brings tears to Popoff's eyes. A complete holiday spread. Bird, dressing, relish, right down to the pie. Then Hilbert takes an unheard-of step. Hilbert rolls in a projector and fires up The Lord of the Rings. The film runs for a solid 3 hours. No chatter about illegal schemes. No hashing out investigations. They simply sit back as hobbits rescue Middle-earth, digging into slices of pie. Years later, Popoff dubs this the turning point. Not due to the meal, but because, for the first time since arriving in the U.S., somebody saw him as a person, not merely a tool. That evening, he resolves to take down the head of Carter Planet. Yet before that, he must snag a phantom. They nickname him Script, though his true identity and whereabouts remain mysteries. One fact stands out. He helped launch Carter Planet and oversees its largest transactions. Popoff invests 6 weeks cultivating trust, posing as a Ukrainian go-between linked to shady bankers. At last, Script greenlights a trial buy, $400 in high-end cards. The delivery lands at FBI offices, bundled in Ukrainian newsprint. Inside, 200 cards swiped only 72 hours prior. Script's big slip-up? A scribbled message included. Hilbert feeds the handwriting into global records, and jackpot. Script is Roman Vega, holed up in Odessa. Half a year on, Ukrainian cops pound on his door at 4 a.m. He pulls a 6-month sentence, a light tap, yet the shockwave hits the dark web hard. No one's beyond reach. Come April 2003, Ant City has thwarted $70 million in scams. But true victory demands a steep price. Is it possible to mold a crook into a savior without him forgetting his roots? And what unfolds when the FBI's sharpest tool chooses to disarm? February 2003. 8 million credit card details vanish from Data Processing International. No error, 8 million. Pile up the hard copies, and they'd scrape the 40th story of a skyscraper. The Bureau's in chaos. Then Popoff hears from a contact dubbed Re. I know who's holding the data. I can arrange the full dump. Up for it? Re's just 21, crashing with his mother in St. Petersburg, and he's botched everything. He figures he's dealing with a peer in crime. In reality, he's bargaining with the FBI's hidden ace. But Re raises a valid concern. Why would a minor player suddenly crave $200,000 in pilfered cards? Popoff has to establish credibility. The ensuing operation feels ripped from a thriller flick, but it's authentic, funded by your taxes. Deep in a fortified safe at a Bank of America outlet in L.A., The FBI stacks $200,000 in hundreds. Objective: transform Popoff into a mob boss vibe. Agents pile the bills into tidy towers as Popoff rehearses his pitch in Russian. Lights, camera. He snatches a wad, spreads it like cards, inspects a note under the glow. Spot the security features? Genuine U.S. cash, primed for handover. He flings packs around as if they're textbooks. The whole act clocks in at 47 seconds. It lands flawlessly. Yet Popoff craves more than Rhee's stash. He seeks the guy's true details. So he fabricates Hermes Plast, a bogus card-printing outfit seeking risk advisors. He whips up a site, sets up emails, even pens phony staff profiles. Then offhand, he drops to Rhee that they're recruiting with $70,000 entry pay. Rhee hammers out his application in a frenzy. Full identity, home address, passport copy. He throws in contacts, too. The FBI analyst monitoring this bursts into laughter. Has this fool just interviewed for his personal takedown? In 72 hours, Rhee, full name Dennis Soloff, earns an Interpol alert. In 72 weeks, he's in cuffs. But amid that cash-lined vault, something shifts for Popoff. He's no longer merely nabbing crooks. He's evolving into the Bureau's top triumph. 2 weeks hence, he'll gain his release. 2 years from now, he'll extract revenge for it all. April 15, 2003. A U.S. judge eyes Popoff's dossier, 8 months of stellar infiltration, and delivers a ruling that stuns prosecutors. Sentence fulfilled right now. Popoff exits the courtroom unshackled. The FBI hooks him up with $1,000 monthly and a pad by Huntington Beach. They believe they've got him locked down. But you can't trap a man who's mastered the art of escape. One query shapes the chaos ahead. What occurs when your guardhound recalls its wild side? And why would a freshly liberated coder dive straight into his grandest breach? New Year's Eve, 2004. Hilbert's cell buzzes at 11:47 p.m. Party cheers echoing faintly. Popoff's tone slices the festivity. Your inbox awaits. The FBI has been compromised. Not a glitch, not a hiccup. An intruder holds admin rights to all .gov emails. Every operative, every probe, every protected source. Everything got exposed via X25, this ancient networking standard from 1976 that everyone ignored since they weren't even aware of it. Except for Popoff, who's willing to patch it up in exchange for compensation. The documents Popoff forwards leave Hilbert chilled to the core. The initial file is an 11-page profile on a crime lord the FBI's assembling a RICO prosecution against. The 7th one's a detailed list of all the hackers targeted by the FBI and Secret Service, organized by region, complete with entries like quote 0 and quote 1 bold text at the top of each document warns, quote 2, and yet it's all yanked right from FBI.gov servers. Some agent inside actually wrote that directive and then attached the file to an email regardless. The contradiction stings like a slap. Just 6 hours pass before Hilbert boards a flight to D.C., and 12 hours later, he's briefing the FBI director. Soon after, the White House Chief of Staff is pressing for explanations. The agency wires $10,000 to Popoff's fresh startup, Psychos, the inaugural instance of the FBI, compensating a foreign fugitive who dodged parole to resolve their internal leak. No one raises the glaring issue. How did Popoff get wind of this so quickly? This is what that 10 grand delivers. Popoff names the intruder as Leonid Soloff, hands over his St. Petersburg location, and sets up a connection. Hilbert slips into a covert role in a Russian hacking forum. After 3 exchanges, Soloff boasts about cracking the FBI. By the 10th, he's detailing the method step by step. At 20 messages, he's pitching additional pilfered FBI docs for sale. It's the smoothest admission Hilbert's ever extracted. Suspiciously smooth. Still, when you're sinking fast, you grab whatever floats by. The FBI files a secret indictment. Interpol flags Soloff for monitoring. Hilbert even drafts an official praise note on bureau stationery, highlighting Popoff's crucial support for the country. Popoff slaps it up on his firm's site right away. He's transformed into a certified FBI-backed cybersecurity expert. How could that backfire? On February 10, 2005, it all unravels. Recall that initial conference we started with? It's looming now. The guy who rescued the FBI is on the verge of ruining the operative who pulled him from the fire. Two key queries will decide the fallout. Why did Popoff reach out to a major corporation peddling pilfered info? And what unfolds when officials uncover that the Bureau's savior is orchestrating a shakedown scheme? Who's Dennis Penhouse? The district attorney's voice buzzes over the intercom. 5 top FBI officials fix their gaze on Hilbert. He's got 3 seconds to choose. Shield his contact or salvage his job. Both aren't options. Dennis Penhouse is Popoff's cover identity. The day before, using it, he approached EMC Corporation regarding their swiped source code. VMware tech valued at $500 million. His pitch came off as generous. Let me secure your leak. EMC interpreted it as a threat. Fork over cash, or the code leaks everywhere. They alerted the FBI's Boston field office. Now Boston's baying for vengeance. They suspect a blackmail operation led by a bureau asset. Spot on. Yet they're missing the bigger picture. Reality's far uglier than their suspicions. Hand over his true identity. The DA's ultimatum dangles like a guillotine. Hilbert weighs the fallout. Reveal Popoff, and every linked probe collapses. Defend him, and his shield gets yanked. Amid the quiet, a voice brings up Whitey Bulger, the Boston gangster whose FBI protector ended up jailed for graft. The parallel hits hard. Hilbert's either dirty or useless. Or worse. No, his denial emerges sharper than planned. He's involved in delicate missions right now. Blowing his cover would endanger national safety. Accurate, yet only half the story. The full picture. Hilbert suspects Popoff's involvement. He also recognizes Popoff as the sole factor in nabbing those FBI intruders. Prosecuting your key collaborator for wrongdoing defeats the purpose. That's precisely why they brought him on board. But 3 days on, Hilbert faces probes for plotting, wire scams, and blocking justice. His laptop's confiscated. His records get combed through. His calls are legally demanded. Former lunch buddies now dodge his gaze. The star of Operation Ant City has turned toxic. The moment that shatters him. His 5-year-old girl wonders aloud why Dad's always downcast. He can't explain it straight. That he placed faith in the incorrect ally, and that Dad could end up behind bars. Over in Ukraine, meanwhile, Popoff pockets his EMC payout. $30,000 transferred straight to his holdings, with $40,000 more on the line if the code remains under wraps for 4 years. He's straight up ransoming big league firms with their proprietary secrets. The FBI's in the dark about the transaction. EMC keeps it hushed. Deception runs rampant among all parties, while Hilbert bears the full brunt. August 2006 rolls around. Hilbert's boss summons him. The advancement he's chased for 8 years? It's off the table. Why? An ongoing probe. The implication is unmistakable. Your time here's over. Following months of witnessing his professional life unravel bit by bit, Hilbert opts for the sole remaining path. He sets his badge and firearm down on his boss's desk. Badge ID 4982, Glock 23, serial RK K291. A 15-year career wraps up, courtesy of a Ukrainian youth he'd aimed to assist. The probe uncovers zero proof of misconduct. The DOJ discreetly shelves every allegation in 2009. Yet you can't reverse a resignation from the Bureau. Hilbert shifts to private security advising. The type firms bring in post-hack when they doubt official channels. He excels in the role. He thrives. He doesn't let it fade from memory. Still, two riddles torment him nightly. What drives someone to sabotage their sole ally? And suppose Popoff's disloyalty cut even further than suspected. Fast forward to 2012. 7 years into quiet, Hilbert's cell buzzes. Caller ID displays a Ukrainian prefix. You can guess the source. Quote 4 comes Popoff's voice, aged and subdued. For that Thanksgiving meal, for seeing me as human. You were my one true companion. The statement strikes Hilbert like an admission at a graveside. Far too belated to count, yet too sincere to dismiss. They converse for 3 full hours. Popoff mentions a family these days, insists he's straightened out, apologizes for the fallout. Then, in a near offhand way, he unleashes the revelation. Quote 6. A heavy pause ensues, one that echoes in the silence. Hilbert's thoughts whirl over 5 years' worth of overlooked hints. Popoff presses on. Every phrase another stab. Quote 7. Did doubts ever creep in? Quote 8. At times. Quote 9. I hoped you'd turned a corner. Here's the harshest twist. Hilbert wasn't gullible. He was optimistic. He spotted promise in a wayward teen and sought to redeem him. Popoff spotted a chance and seized it all. They were each correct in their way, and each mistaken. I never reformed, Popoff admits, before tossing in a surprise. But does it matter? I still care for you deeply. It's his rawest declaration yet. In Popoff's realm, affection and treachery aren't foes. They're intertwined in rhythm. He truly values Hilbert. He also truly ruined him. To him, no conflict exists. That's his peril, not the coding prowess or shady ties. It's the knack for grinning as he lifts your cash, then aiding the search for your missing billfold. Popoff roams unchecked across Eastern Europe, likely steering his advisory business still. No cuffs, no handover, no reckoning. Hilbert pieced his existence back together yet bears the wounds, both on paper and in spirit. The Bureau tucked Operation Ant City into sealed archives. On record, a triumph. Off the books, a cautionary tale. When you enlist a crook to nab crooks, keep in mind, they remain crooks at heart. But the deeper takeaway isn't faith or duplicity. It's the toll of equity in a wired era, where top enforcers were once outlaws, and elite outlaws boast Bureau endorsements. Next time a huge leak or slick cyber bust hits the news, wonder, who's truly at the helm? For if Maxim Popoff proved one thing, it's that online, heroes and villains tap identical keys. The soul divide? Today's sponsor, that could flip to the FBI by dawn. Recall the SolarWinds breach we covered in our clip. At times, the intruders embed so thoroughly, they're basically handling your tech upkeep. Tap to view how Russian spies lurked in U.S. agency systems for 9 months, all while drawing paychecks as safeguards. If Popoff's saga seems outlandish, brace for the spectacle when a whole nation pulls off the identical ruse.